stormy pinkness. Well, stormy blueness, blackness, whiteness.
There's no pink.
Intro of storming, intro of rain, intro. I can't do that. Anyway, hi everyone. Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday. I mentioned at the end of yesterday's vlog that if you are into old games, we have a Craigslist deal for you. Today we are on our way to pick up a copy, well, we're actually picking up 9 Super Nintendo games, which is pretty cool. One of which is a game that me and Mallory are quite fond of, that we certainly don't need any more copies of. We're picking up a copy of Earthbound today. And the reason is, honestly, it's more than I've ever spent for a copy of Earthbound. I'm not going to tell you how much I'm buying these games for, but it's more than I've ever spent for a copy. But at the same time, it's way, way cheaper than what they're going on eBay. This is actually the same guy that we met the other day that I got a copy of Silent Hill and Twin Snakes from. He knows how much the games are worth. He sent me a list of the games he had, told him to make him an offer. I made him what was a fairly reasonable offer and then also a ridiculous offer because he had listed all these crazy games. A lot of them I had duplicates of, and I was like, I know it's worth more than this. I said, but this is how much I could do. And then we got to talking a little bit, and I told him about my experiences with Earthbound. And I was like, actually, funny story, I met my wife because of Earthbound. We actually own several copies of the game, and we collect copies of the game. We don't collect duplicates of any other series or anything, but we do collect copies of Earthbound, just because it's kind of a sentimental thing. It's always been my favorite game. It's how I met my wife, how I met so many of my friends. It's really impacted my life, so, we collect copies of Earthbound. And he offered it to us at a price that it would have been stupid to turn away. I mean, I know I have several copies of the game, but it's like, the game's probably not going to be this cheap, either again or for a long time. It's like, you should probably get it. So we're going to go now, we're going to pick up these games, and I even wore my Earthbound shirt, because, I mean, you're talking to someone on Craigslist. I mean, I'm telling him this stuff. I don't know if he actually believes me, I don't know, but I figured not everyone's going to have an Earthbound logo shirt, so that probably kind of cements that. Anyway, we're going to pick up these games, and then we'll see what happens to the rest of our day. Games get! Also, it started raining a lot friggin' harder, which sucks, but yeah, anyway, those are the 2 good games that we got. Good games. Sunset Riders and Earthbound. I mean, all together, we, like I said, it was a really good deal. The guy is super nice, actually. It was raining so hard. We were parked next to each other. He put all the games in his coat, and then he just kind of walked over in the rain, and I let him sit in the back of the car while we did the transaction. And the biggest issue was that when he got in, he was already soaked. He walked like 10 feet, and he was soaked. And I felt bad, but that was the only way we could really do it. But yeah, we got Sunset Riders and we got Earthbound. The other notable titles that are worth, a little bit is Mortal Kombat 1 and 3, and we also got Final Fight. Those are all worth, $5 or so. And then we got a handful of games that I didn't really need, but I didn't have them. They were on this list. It's like Madden, Tin Star, Battle Tanks, and I don't know, some other football games. So not a real big deal there, but Sunset Riders and Earthbound. Didn't have Sunset Riders, and this is actually our 5th copy of Earthbound. We own 5 copies of Earthbound, which is crazy. Also, this light went out.
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic!
No one knows what to do because they're all tourists from out of state.
Yeah, everyone, trust me, I've been in this situation before, man. Everyone just goes.
I swear it rains here like every day. Almost this much.
We're actually Seattle. I didn't know if you knew.
Well, when it's not raining, it gets hot and sunny. So it's like hot, sunny, sudden rain.
Yeah. Honestly, to be real fair with you, Mel, it's rained here a lot more recently than it used to. I mean, I've noticed it too. It's been raining a lot, and it never used to rain this much, so I don't know.
Even in the other summers I've been here, it was like every morning, rain for 20 minutes.
It's not normally like that. It's rained a lot more fairly recently, especially since we've been back in this last month. It's rained a lot. Soon and very soon we're going to have to invest in a TV stand, and we've been talking about it, and even though we already have that TV in my parents' house, it's huge, and we're thinking of getting a more modern TV for the room since they're so cheap. We're thinking about doing this TV stand at Big Lots. For one, it's not very expensive, but the TV can mount up here, so this is for the game room in case you weren't aware. So the TV would mount up here, and there's 3 different shelves, and it would hold probably 9 or 10 consoles. So I'm thinking that we may do this. I'm not sure when, but we may do it as early as, like, I don't know, within a week, because it's a pretty good deal. Well, we stopped by the house because we wanted to drop off the games that we got. I never actually...
Oh, I started putting them away
It's okay,
already.
it's okay. I explained which ones they were. The only ones worth anything really are Mortal Kombat 1, 3, and Final Fight, and then obviously Earthbound. But I don't think I had fully... Oh, and Sunset Riders, that's right. To my knowledge, we probably have more copies of Earthbound than anyone on Earth. I don't think there's anyone that owns more copies of Earthbound. And none of these have been purchased online, which is kind of one of my things. I don't like buying games online. I know I can. They're always there if I want to get them, but it's just so much fun to find them out in the field and see how you're going to come across them. So this is what 5 copies of Earthbound looks like. It's weird. It's almost like summoning the Dragon Balls. Like you get all the Dragon Balls together and they...
So are we going to summon...
You're going to summon the Starman Deluxe? Anyway, this is my childhood copy. It's in the best shape because it is my childhood copy. I've always kept really good care of it. This was the second copy I ever got. I got it for $5 at a Rose's discount store in, like, God, I don't know, 2005 maybe? Maybe sooner than that, maybe 2003 or 4. This is a copy I bought at Game Giant in Wilmington, North Carolina for $50 in presumably October 2007. This is a copy, this is actually Mal's copy from when, like...
I got it in college.
Got a few years ago in college. A boy gave this to you. Mm-hmm. He liked you. Mm-hmm. I like you more. And then this is the copy that we got today. And the copy that we had paid the most for before today was $50, so it's not like we paid a ton of money, especially since Earthbound is now worth about $150 to $160, but it's kind of like the stock market that goes up and down. But yeah, we've got Earthbound, and it's hard to explain. I don't collect any other game except Earthbound, which sucks because Earthbound is really friggin' expensive, but it's also...
You could start collecting this.
I know. Well, I think one of the reasons I like it so much is that when you finally get another copy, you're like, man, I got another copy of Earthbound. I mean, I think another copy or two will have like $1,000 in Earthbound carts, but it's like, it's not about the money for me. It has nothing to do. I have no plans on ever selling these because it's just, the game has meant so much to me and affected my life in such a way. And as you guys probably know, video games can do that. And I just love it. I love Earthbound. And what are the backs of the carts like? Are they in pretty good condition? The backs of the carts actually look pretty good. Well, that one doesn't. I didn't realize that one. The one I got at Game Giant is pretty ripped up, but it's okay. I've tested all these before, and they all work. So I haven't tested this one yet, but presumably it works. I guess we could fire it up. One of my favorite things about buying a new Earthbound cart, and I don't get to experience this very often, is the joy of seeing where someone was in the game. So we got a level 99, which is pretty average, Tim. And then we have a level 90, Nate. So you can presume that those are going to be at the end of the game. I do like, what's interesting is someone had their text speed on medium. Let's take a look at Tim's file. Level 7 is going to probably be on it. Wow. I didn't expect that. I figured at level 99 you would be...
Robots?
They didn't save there, so they could go do stuff. That's pretty smart. Normally when I get to that section of the game at the very end, I always save at the robot, but I guess it makes sense. Let's take a look at their goods here. Tim, Mandy, Kyle, and Caleb. Interesting. So we got Shiny Coin, Magic and Bat, okay.
They haven't gotten everything ready to go into the Cave of the Past yet.
No, they have pretty empty stuff. Interesting. Yeah, they don't even...
No Sword of Kings.
Huh?
No Sword of Kings.
Yeah, that's another thing that's interesting to see is if people bothered to get the Sword of Kings. The other file, however, is also a high-level file, so let's take a look at that and see what Nate did at level 90. Is Nate in the cave? Yeah, okay, so Nate's in the cave. Nate's a normal person. He's got plain windows. He's got...
Names.
Nate, Tummy, Tim, and Caleb. Interesting. And he's still got the jar of fly honey, which is really weird. It's almost as if he didn't know to get rid of it. So this person probably didn't play with a player's guide. Key to the tower, Diamond Band.
Bicycle.
Interesting. Yeah, the bicycle's in here. Multi-bottle rocket, so we got that down. It's almost as if the person didn't know that they could store items with Tracy. So, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just, I really like to do that and see, you know, what's there. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the vlog today just by asking a quick question. Certainly, I'm not the only person that collects copies of individual games. I know it's not a common occurrence, but some people do it. For me, it's Earthbound, which might seem a little absurd, but you have to understand that when I started trying to get these things, they weren't, you know, this much money. They were a lot cheaper, which is one of the reasons I have 5 and not much more. But is there a game that you collect multiple copies of? You know, like I said, it's not going to be a common thing, but I'm sure that there are people out there that do it. I actually posted a picture on Twitter earlier, and I think someone said that they collect copies of Pokemon Blue. I mean, that's viable. And Pokemon is kind of hard to come by. I mean, you can find them, but it's not all that often. And Pokemon is actually a higher priced title. I mean, it's not like Earthbound expensive, but still, I mean, it's more expensive than buying, let's say, Tin Star for the Super Nintendo, which is like probably worth maybe $1 or $2. Oh, and because I know someone is either going to ask or accuse me of this, I wanted to go ahead and address this right now. Someone is going to say, hey, you are, you know, either hogging the copy of Earthbounds, or you're the reason the price is so high, or you know, you should either give them away or sell them so other people can have them. And you know, I'm just going to address that by saying Earthbound is not rare. Earthbound is not a rare game. It's not. It is not. It's a very expensive game, but it's not a rare game. I am not the sole cause of Earthbound being expensive. In fact, the reason Earthbound would be expensive is because when someone goes to sell the game at a price, the next person that comes along sees their price and raises it a little more. And then the next person comes along and raises it a little more. And that is why we have Earthbound carts going for as much as they are going for right now. They shouldn't be that high. And Earthbound is not a rare game, and the reason you know it's not a rare game is because when you go on eBay, there's always a copy. There's always 30 copies. They're not a rare game. So you can't really point the finger at me and be like, you know, Earthbound's a rare game, you have a lot of copies. You just have to understand that it's a game I really, really love, I really appreciate. I don't get to get copies very often, but if I can get a hold of one, I really love to, just because I don't know, the game has always meant so much to me. With that being said, just so I clear that up so no one will ask that question, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?